You ding dong.
You know, just it's nice that we get Sunday nights like this together, you and me.
Yeah, I'm really glad we get to just hang out. We don't got anything to worry about. We get to just chill.
No,
Chat.
yeah, like it's just so peaceful to just sit here and relax. No responsibilities. We don't get
It's
to
really
like we're
good.
not we're always like when we're hanging out we're always like working. And
Yeah,
today it's
normally
nice
like
that
we
we
have
don't
so
have
many
to
things
work.
that we do.
Yeah, we don't have
That's
to
good.
work. Shit!
Wait, what?
The podcast.
The podcast!
It's tonight.
Oh
Hi everyone.
no!
Welcome to Critical Reroll, the podcast for critters by critters. It's us tonight. It's us. It's just me and Jess. Yes,
It's
yes,
just
King.
us
So,
two. And
for those
for
on the
anyone listening in, you missed an entirely visual gag.
as we are like to do here on the live stream, where I have a GIF of a fireplace underneath me, which really, I mean, guys, it's really hot.
We're just having a moment. We're just
yeah, you know. Yeah, so hi guys, welcome to episode 147 of Critical Reroll, where we're talking about episode 71 of Critical Role. And I'm Dusty. And that's
I'm the friend. It's me.
Dusty and the Friend. It's a great detective show that's coming out on Hulu. Dusty and the Friend.
Yep. So
we're gonna talk about some
now.
we're gonna talk about some Critical Role, I think.
What?
I guess. Yeah, we gotta do it.
Is that what we do?
I think that's what we do. Is that what we do?
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
So we start off with this episode. In episode 70, we ended with Dairon sneaking in. And in the start of this episode, we get straight to it where Dairon wants to know what the hell's going on. Because it's just her out there doing her spy thing, doing their spy thing. And somehow her protege and her ragtag group of ding-dongs
that's accurate.
living in a house close to the royal district of Roshana in Jorhas. They have a tree and a hot tub, which Dairon does not like to talk about business in, apparently.
Well, she just wants to know, what's with this hot tub? Why is there a tree here? How did they get a whole house? What is happening? These are all the important questions that Dairon wants answers to.
So they end up in Jester and Bo's room. And Jester stays and sits on the bed while Bo and Dairon talk. Jester eats bed snacks.
I was gonna say the most important thing to me here is
I figured I was leading into that for you.
What snacks do you think Jester keeps under the bed? Because it was made clear that Jester went under the bed and got snacks that she had waiting. What snacks does Jester have under the bed?
Candy, I think.
Well, okay, like chocolate?
I mean, she probably has like a variety. She seems like a variety type of candy person.
Yeah.
Maybe something crunchy.
Pastries?
There might be some stale pastries in there.
Some stale donuts, some chocolate, some lollipops.
Yeah, there's probably some of that too.
Oh, I like this. Axe Lobo in chat said candied rations. You know how most adventurers have rations?
Mm-hmm.
Jester definitely keeps candied rations.
Oh,
I like
for
this
sure.
plan.
Yeah.
This is definitely true.
Gummy peanut.
Yep. That's a good one right there. Good one.
Um,
Lizard breath. I like it. Seems like if that doesn't already exist in that world, Jester is going to
I
invent it.
feel like a lot of Jester's snacks are probably phallic in shape. Anyway, if she had the choice of like making them herself, um, who knows? Maybe Jester is a candy maker and we just don't know about it yet. Um, but yeah, so they take some time with just a real quick telling Matt that they just want to tell each other. Bo wants to tell Dairon everything about
Mm-hmm.
everything that's happened. Um,
But she wants an exchange of information.
yeah,
Like she's specifically like, let's help. Like you help us out. Let's help you out. Let's all be like, share what we know, share what we have.
which they do to
Free
some
information.
success. Free information, sort of, because when it comes to Dairon asking for help, Bo gets so cagey.
Yeah.
I liked how Dairon was always just very much like, look, it's just me. You have a whole like team. I have to like do this and pretend to be a drow and like get all this information. The least you could do is like throw me a bone, introduce me to some people, and like when I was watching, I just kept thinking, take her to that shop that they killed everybody in. Like
Mhm.
introduce her to that goblin. Like, I mean, that's probably a good way she can get into stuff. But I think Dairon asked for like one of the symbols, and Bo says, "Oh, we only have this one," which is totally the truth.
Totally not a lie. Mara.
I think it's
You
something
want them
like
to? You
Mara.
want them to take her to Maru's shop
Well, I
and
thought like I was expecting them to be a little nicer to Dairon and maybe like give her like a couple, like throw her a couple bones.
a couple bones.
But
Okay, we'll introduce you to like this shady person, and then maybe one not so shady
yeah, well,
person.
I
Have
figured
your pick.
yeah, I figured Dairon could like get some information out of the shady person, or at least know to like watch that area and could kind of figure out maybe there is actually something that's connected to. Because we find out what Dairon is looking for is agents
Double
in
agents.
Jorhas, because she mentions that she doesn't think that those beacons were necessarily stolen from Jorhas, and that there might be someone here who gave them to the Empire for profit or a favor. That there's and we'll learn this later too when they get to Nicodranus, because Yusa basically says the same thing, that there's definitely something else at work here playing both sides in something that was already on fire, but just throwing the fuel on the fire to keep them going at each other. So there's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because like, do you think we've met anyone so far who could be like a double agent? Do you think like we've seen like most everyone we've seen so far seems very, very like honorable and keeping with the Bright Queen and this side of everything, the dynasty and everything like that.
I mean, there
I
could
just
be
don't.
people on the court, but like we haven't really interacted with a lot of them. I think
Yeah.
we were talking about this kind of off.
Yeah, we were kind of chatting about it a little bit, and like anyone that like is part of a den already or who has had multiple lives already seems unlikely to be a double agent, right? Because they're already benefiting quite a
Yeah,
lot from.
yeah. I mean, I guess unless there's some sort of slight or so, I don't know, but like, I mean, the Bright Queen has been in power for so long in one
Mhm.
form or another, I imagine, and I don't know. It's. I mean, I'm sure there are people in Roshana that are working for, and I think that's kind of what the Bright Queen was hoping they would dig up when they were doing stuff for them.
Mm-hmm.
But then they stumbled more into the demonic. I mean, because those were happening. The demonic openings were happening on this side, and they kind of followed that lead. But I mean, we don't know what other political crap is happening. Like, if there are.
Mm-hmm. Morgan in chat has pointed out unless it's someone from another den that wants to depose her and take her place. So
That's true.
unless, because we do know like it's her den is like the leading den right now, and there are other dens, so that does make sense. Like because if you want a different sort of party or group or family to be in power, it might take and like to do so without visibly dirtying your den's
Uh-huh.
hands to do it without like you. That's not a bad idea to have outside sources come in to help you sort of do that. So it's not a bad idea.
No, yeah. Um, but I mean, there could. I mean, I'm sure there is, and hopefully, maybe while they're away, Dairon can sort of, in her whatever she does. I imagine she'll sneak out at night from the house watch because they kind of decide that they'll talk to the rest of the group in the morning about Dairon like posing as caretaker because they are taking Yeza back to Nicodranas to meet up with Luke. We get the next morning. I love that Caduceus cooks breakfast. It's my favorite thing.
He's such a good boy.
Um, but mostly always a vegan breakfast.
Yeah.
Well,
not vegan because he
not
did
vegan.
eggs.
No, yeah, vegetarian.
Eggs.
Yeah.
He just doesn't do like
He
meats.
doesn't do
like,
meats.
Meats.
Like bacon or pocket bacon. Like, I
Why
love.
do they still have bacon in their pockets?
I'm just saying, like, I've been in a couple campaigns where that just is always a thing. But like, when's the last time they actually had bacon and not pulled that bacon out? I can't imagine that that's fresh pocket bacon. Not even the term fresh pocket bacon should be a thing. But
yeah.
If you cook it, it kills all the germs, though, right? I don't know. They have a nice meal. They mention they don't do a lot of floundering this time because they always do a lot of planning and then doing nothing of what they just said. But they do stick with the going to Nicodranas because Yeza hears them say not Nicodranas and gets like depressed because he wants out of here. So bad.
Well, also because that's where Luke is.
Yeah.
So like it just makes sense that, like you said, he wants out of here. This place is dark. This place is creepy. They kept him as a prisoner. There's a lot of reasons this dude would want out of here.
He was a prisoner of war.
Yeah, just for the sake of like getting out of here. That's already like a thing. But also,
he knows
his son is waiting in Nicodranas, and he has not seen his son since like the whole attack happened and he was captured and everything like that. And it's like, how do you not? Also, Yeza's never seen the ocean.
Yeza has never seen the ocean.
So that was a whole nother thing. He was excited also to see that.
Also, they were using a teleport spell to a master wizard in his tower without calling ahead.
Yeah.
And I just laugh at that because I'm like, oh man, there could have been all sorts of things that gone wrong with that. You don't just apparate into a wizard's home without giving him a little, hey, we're coming in. Because guess what? Wizards can be dangerous.
Yeah, I have to say I'm a little bit surprised there wasn't any more like wards or anything like that. That it seems like I'm a little bit surprised there wasn't anything.
Yeah, I would have made that a little bit of a, you always learn a little bit of a lesson when you get hurt a little bit. That's always when you make a mistake and it has some repercussions. That's a good lesson. I mean, any good wizard should ward their teleportation room against, unwelcome travel. But Morgan, that's true. He probably has given the sigil to very few people, though. Just saying. If they take someone and mind control them, never too safe. You guys, listen to me. Ward your teleportation circles. Mine's warded right now. Just ward yours.
You can't just pop over.
You
can't just teleport over to Dustin's house all unexpected. Like you're gonna get
you're gonna have
to the face.
You're gonna have some trouble, and there's gonna be a dog on you. Like I'm just telling you, she's my second backup ward.
Yeah,
but it's
just because think about it. Think about when they first saw the wizard tower and they're like, there's no way to enter it.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like there seems to be so much protection in place already for the wizard tower. Like they couldn't get into it. They couldn't figure a way around. Like it seems protected enough on the outside that this dude would want to be careful and like have some stuff on the inside too. But I guess not. I guess he like trusts enough, like y'all said. I guess he's just trusting that no one can get in except people he's welcomed.
Yeah. I mean, think about the King Sendu said in chat, the first episode of Critical Role Vox Machina, the dwarf house they couldn't even walk up to the steps to because it was warded like to the front door. They couldn't even make it up the path.
Yeah.
Anyway, they get into the tower. They find the little goblin. I don't remember his name. The goblin servant to Yusa. This is so confusing sometimes with these names.
Yusa and Yesa. Those
Yusa and
two I
Yeza.
find. But it's not too bad. But yeah, Yusa is the wizard.
And
I
he's
don't
like, I will refetch the master. Please have a seat in a newly furnished living room that maybe Yusa was like, oh, I had some people here. There's a lot. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe I should have comfort for them. Or he's up to something else. Who knows? But we do find out he's been playing with the ball.
Let me
He
just
hasn't-
check out this ball for you.
He hasn't dropped the ball. He's been working that ball and mapping it.
He's been on the ball.
He's been on the ball, working it, mapping it, which I find fascinating. Like he's been delving around in there, probably smartly, unlike the Mighty Nine, who just went in and started touching things.
Yeah.
Like
well, yeah, like this I mean, to be fair, this dude's not running around having to like take care of a bunch of stuff like they're taking care of. This dude is confined to his tower and he can just chill out and study whatever
I feel
he
like
feels
he like sits in one of those like high back chairs with a pipe and a smoking jacket and then just like
and just like fiddles
right,
with this ball.
Let's go. And then like
It's
poof.
it's like a Rubik's cube.
Yeah, it's his like
puzzle.
his nightly puzzle.
Yeah. He does some work during the day. He like has some dinner, sits back in his recliner with his like corncob pipe and spins the ball. Like just plays catch with himself. I don't know.
Yeah, he's probably learning a bunch of stuff from whatever because this thing I feel like you could probably run a whole entire campaign just in this ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like with how many rooms and how like whatever it is.
Yeah, this ball is a dungeon. Like this ball is
I just want it so bad.
Dungeon delvey dungeon. Like this has chambers and rooms and secrets and creatures and treasure and traps. It is just the ultimate deep dive delvey spherical dungeon. Like
yeah, I want to run a campaign that's just about this ball. And Matt should just put a book about this ball.
Dear, sorry, hang on. I'm writing him a letter right now. Okay. Dear Matthew Mercer, it is us, your fans. We adore you. Thank you for all you have given us thus far. But also, that ball, what up? Can we has more, please?
I want a book about your ball, Matt. Please.
Matt?
No one tell him that this podcast exists. Anyway, we do get Jester makes a comment and like, hey, did you find any treasure or gold? Or how about that horde from the thing we killed? And he was like, I liked his response to that. It was like, oh, you mean that maybe possibly endangered species that you killed that you don't actually own? Maybe when I'm done mapping this, I'll consider a finder's fee. But yeah, I found lots of neat things. I like how he was just like, oh yeah, I found some neat things. But he's not going to tell them.
He doesn't tell them anything yet. He's like, yeah, like me. Yes, I'm having fun with this ball, but also it's hard work, and I'm going to make you pay when I'm ready.
He's like, how much do you know of the Age of Arcanum? And they're like, none of us know anything. He's like, yeah, I found cool things.
Yeah, so,
But they do ask him about also, like, information on this side of the world, like what's been happening. Mm-hmm. And he gives us a really good information that there have been demonic incursions, because they don't really say where they've been. They've said they've been over the mountains. But they say they've been dealing with demonic incursions and the Laughing Hand, and Yusa does say, like, oh, I can check my tomes if you want me to. But he's like, oh yeah, it's pretty much similar over here. There was something that happened in Zadash with demonic things, but it's all been informed as being the Zoroastrian demonologists, which now we know that society, whatever that is, the Chained Angel, the Angel in Chains, or whatever, Alice in Chains, I don't remember which one it is. But I think, like, whatever organization Secret Evil Cult is definitely getting both sides worked up.
Yep.
There's all sorts of shit going down, and I think we're getting the hints of whatever the big story actually is that Mercer's spinning, because that's some good information there.
Yeah, they did specifically also like because Caduceus. I know they discussed it and they were like, we shouldn't like tell people too much. But Caduceus wants to warn everyone about the laughing hand, just in case and stuff like that. So they do check with them, like, hey, have you heard of this? Have you heard of this some guy, the laughing hand? You're kind of like a real smart dude, one of the smarter dudes we know. You heard of this thing? Nah, not really, but I could like look into it. Is that something I should look into?
Yeah, and it's nice that they're putting the word out, like just to get eyes and ears and information about the sources. And now, if they remember to check back in, with either ascending or something like that to see that will be the smart point, because they can tell NPCs to get them information all they want, but they have to remember that they told an NPC and then go back and pull that information. King Sundu, I'm still on Team Sundering of the Divine Gate and the reignition of the Age of Calamity. I mean, I've thought about someone trying to mess with the Divine Gate, and the gods coming back into the world. Hoo boy.
But like, I feel like there has been hints of that already. There has been and there's still the question of the Traveler. Where does the Traveler? Is the Traveler on that part of the gate? Is the Traveler on this part of the gate? Was the Traveler ever on that part of the gate? Does the Traveler have a different gate? Is the Traveler just gateless?
Who knows?
We'll
find out at Gate Night.
At Traveler Con.
Yeah.
It's coming soon.
So they leave Yusa, and they head towards Jester's home. On the way, Yeza does get a look down one of the main streets that leads to the ocean, and was just like amazed. I loved that, just being like, never seen anything like that. And if you've never like seen the ocean for the first time, it's just like crazy to just see an infinite horizon of blue.
For sure, especially if you think about there must be some people in this world who never get to travel.
Yeah, they never leave their home.
Yeah. World who never leave the area they're from. They might never expect to see the ocean if they're from a landlocked area.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like Yeza's gotten to. One of the things I love about Yeza is his amazement. Do you know what I mean? He's so amazed still by his wife, by how he talks her up so much and appreciates her so much, and just seeing the ocean, how excited he is. But I also like that they're like, hey, hold on, like let's wait till we go find Luke and you can like appreciate, like actually go to it and appreciate it. It's not beach time yet, bud. It's not. We'll have beach time later. Like,
yeah, I love how just marveled he is at everything she does. And we get more of that to a lesser degree in just with once we get to Luke. So they make it to Lavish Chateau, is that the name?
Yeah.
And we see Blute, and we get Madame Lavore, and we get Jester reuniting with her mama, and it is so cute.
They're always so cute.
I just love seeing
so cute.
Laura's face the minute like Matt like gets into Madame Lavore's like mannerisms and everything, and Laura like lights up. It's so good.
Yeah, and just like her the way she calls her like, oh, my little sapphire and everything like that, and her like, that's another one, like the love between the Ruby and Jester and the love between Yeza and Not is so good. Like that true appreciation and love and like acceptance of like, you're doing dangerous stuff, but I love you and I'm going to support you no matter what. Like, because Marion is not like, because she's like, it's been confirmed that she's agoraphobic, right? Like, she's not comfortable leaving the lavish chateau. She's not comfortable, and so Jester probably had to stay in most of her life, but is an adult now, and she's fully supporting her. And she's like, would I love to see you more? Of course. But am I going to support you in whatever you do? Yes. Like, I love when we get actually happy, supportive, good relationships because a lot of D&D stories are just sad.
Yeah, they don't have good, happy, supportive relationships. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we get them kind of doing a little tomfoolery around the house. They fight. They meet Luke. Uh, the Ruby says that they've only been there for like a week or so.
Hmm.
They all trade stories. Uh, Luke, or Luke, meets up with Not is obviously in uh, the form of Veth.
Yeah, like she has to take a second and transform into Veth. She has to take that moment because she's still like, despite the fact that Yeza is still completely loving and supportive of her, she still wants to try and
Mm-hmm.
appear only as her, like as Veth to Luke as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a really important thing because it comes up again a bunch
Yep.
a little bit later.
And
But
we.
also, Luke, have you seen how cool your mom is now? She's a
Oh,
wicked
that's so good.
kick-ass. She's a kick-ass adventurer that kills monsters with a crossbow. And hey, do you want a crossbow, kid? Because you're getting a crossbow, kid. Like,
Uh, I. That was such a good moment, especially when Not just like off the hip shoots an orange against the wall, because like Luke's like, nah, mom, what? Um, and Matt is so good with kids, right? Everybody King says it in chat. Like, I love Matt as a kid.
yeah.
So cute.
But like yeah, I love seeing Matt portray kids. Like Sundu, I completely agree with you. I love seeing his portrayal of kids. He does such good kids. But also like the way he plays Marion. Like every time we saw him like doing like she has such specific
Mm-hmm.
movements. The way she like sort of touches and protects herself, but is also just like of herself. And then like when he becomes a kid, you almost feel the difference. Like Luke is a little less like he's definitely played kids that were more like childish, and like Luke is a little more Luke's had a little more trauma,
Mm.
unfortunately. He's a little more not steely, but like he still gets happy about stuff. He still gets excited about stuff, but he's
Yeah,
also
he's
a
got a
little bit
little.
questioning, a
Yeah,
little bit slower to react, I
yeah.
feel.
He's trepidatious for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's so impressive that Matt does all those like really showcases all those characteristics.
Yeah. So then Not lets Luke handle the crossbow without bolts in it, obviously. And then we get
Taliesin.
Allison with the best comment, and like, oh, this is exactly what like being a child of divorce is.
This is it. This is it right
which
here.
which a lot of us can attest to. It's like, oh yeah, nope. Here, you want this cool thing? Love me and love me too, and here's all these cool things. But yeah, that was. I mean, and then so not. What's the Blink dog's name? Nugget. Nugget. The Blink dog. Nugget, right?
Is Nugget's the dog? What's the weasel? Sprinkle, sparkle, sprinkle,
Sprinkles.
sprinkle.
Okay.
Got it.
Wow.
Sorry,
Thanks.
sorry. Like
Oh
having such
boy.
a
Yeah, that
had
was a.
such a moment, but I got it. Yeah, I was like,
So Nugget
okay.
is there, and Nugget obviously loves the ruby, but then they need to get the crossbow back, and then Jester was thinking to keep letting Nugget stay behind so they don't have to take him everywhere, and offered to let him stay. So then also was like, hey Luke, you want to take care of a dog for a while? Not to keep. Jester made sure to point out that no,
Because he's my
he's
dog.
mine. He's mine, but you can take care of him while you live here, and he can protect, the family. I think that's kind of why Jester left Nugget there too, is to just protect the family just in case. I mean, they have Blute,
Also,
but
because of how impractical it was so many times to
yeah,
have to make a dog travel with them through water
yeah.
and caves and like it's very difficult. It's very if you are not a ranger, if you cannot speak directly to your beast.
Dizzy, I'm really hoping that Professor Thaddeus comes randomly back somewhere later in the end of the at the end of the campaign. Just
That would
shows
be
up.
magical. That would
Um,
be a magical
but yeah,
gift.
so they make the trade of one crossbow is worth a dog, a blink dog, and a grappling hook, because that's not more dangerous than an empty crossbow. Grappling hook is sharp.
Grappling hook is sharp. It shoots. It could cause him to want to climb things. Like there's a lot. There's a lot. It's definitely questionable as to if that is better or worse.
Not the fun mom. Yeza is the dad who has to deal with the discipline part of everything.
I don't think I don't think that was always the case, but it is now.
Yeah,
Like
no, it's
it's certainly
definitely now.
whether it was before or not, it's the case now. Yeah. But I like and the promise of like crossbow training
Mm-hmm.
practice, like this you are gonna get trained, you're gonna have to practice at least once a week and then you start with like a little crossbow, then you can have like a bigger like a I like the idea of Luke with a little like Nerf gun crossbow,
Mm-hmm.
dart blaster type
Yeah,
thing. Like
that's cute.
yeah. Yep.
And then they go have some time on the beach.
Yay, beach
Like
time.
Matt does mention that there's a performance that night, and they don't really. I don't think, and like there's a traveling troupe in town that they could like hang out with. But they don't really bite on that hook, and I kind of wondered what that would have ended up being, because they're like, oh, they can show you around town and stuff. Um, so it was it was something that they didn't, because then they just went straight to the beach. And I was kind of hoping, because it seemed like a very interesting, like, oh, check out what this traveling troupe is. Like,
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more of that. I would have liked to have seen more of that. It was a little
but yeah,
see.
I was a little sad too. But they went to the beach and they had a nice fun time at the beach. Uh, they got to listen to some shells, do beach things. Not got to be watching Tara as her son ran around in the water. Um, what else happened at the beach? I don't think much else happened at the beach.
I feel like they didn't do too much at the beach,
Oh,
did they?
They did troll Ford with listening to the shells and like doing Ukatoa like voices to the shells, which I thought was funny. They're like, pain, return. Like, yeah, that's he's not already worried about that, because he also, I think Ford had mentioned for people to look into Ukatoa as, or I think Dairon, he had mentioned it to Dairon to like, oh, because you could look into Ukatoa too, maybe perhaps.
If you happen to be like looking up like stuff, just go ahead and like look up Ukato and let me know what you find, and let me know if like you ever hear anything about people getting out of situations with Ukato for no reason really. Just because I'm just a little curious. Just
Mm-hmm.
nothing. Not. It's not actual. Don't worry about it.
And then they head back and they spend the rest of the evening kind of opening up a package from Caliana, which actually
Yeah.
was a physical package for the players
Yeah.
with lots of stuff in it. And so, I mean, there were some letters. We don't really know everything that Jester said, because apparently it was like a 4-page letter. Bo got a bow, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
Ford got
Ford got pot
seashells.
potpourri.
Like the stuff that my mom has on the toilet in her bathroom, like just shells and potpourri and stuff. But apparently it's for
Apparently,
allergies.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say apparently it's for allergies, but I love that like upon seeing it, it was like you got potpourri, like
Caleb kind of covered the letter of Caliana, which that part of the letter, the one part I did like was like her friend Magda had said every time you like talk bad about yourself, you put a weight in your pocket, which I thought was a really cool like analogy, and like that was kind of cool.
it was
Um,
a really cute metaphor. It was really like I don't want please don't weigh yourself down, Miss
yeah.
like
Oh, that was so
Mr.
good.
Caleb.
Yeah.
It's so cute and so true and so like valid. Like it's
Oh,
good.
that's the other big thing. Thank you, Dizzy. That's the other thing that happened on the beach that I wanted to talk about. Was not pulled Caleb off to the side, and they kind of talked about their future. Thank you. I knew that there was something. I should write these down sometimes. But yeah, because we had talked about the last time I was on the podcast. Um, we had talked that them going back to Nicodranus might have been a case for Sam to use it as an out for Not and maybe bring in another character because they would be going back to the family and the family would be all together, and why would Not want to keep doing what they're doing when, family is safe and stuff like that. But Sam pulling Caleb off to the side and saying, look, they killed me and put me in a different body.
Mm-hmm.
I have my family here, but I followed you for a while because I thought of just using you as your power, and then I love you, I want to protect you, but is there a way that we can fix me? Because I think I still need to hang out with you guys if we can find a way, because I can't. She's still not ready to be out as a goblin to her
To
son.
Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we said at the beginning, she despite the fact that Yeza has been amazing about it and totally supportive and understanding and loves her regardless, not gonna, and in the end, at the end of the day, Luke would probably be fine with it. His kids are adaptable. Having your mom back,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's she looks weird, is better than not having your mom back. And I'm sure he would adapt, but she doesn't want that, and that's understandable. And if she wants, if that's what she wants, if she's only going to be happy in her other form, then fine. That's totally understandable that she work towards that. And she can't just keep, I think she said, she can't just keep casting, illusions over and over again. She can't just she's gonna run out of spell slots. She can't just keep doing that forever. So if she really wants to be Veth again, then she has to continue with them until they can figure out something else.
Yeah, so that was that was a neat little thing because that gave kind of a reason why Not sticks around.
Mm-hmm.
And there's magic, and they kind of talked about it, that there's magic that they can figure out or even craft into a spell. But I know that true polymorph exists and other spells like that, that can.
Yeah, but they're just higher level. They just don't have them.
It's just not something
yet. They're
have.
outside of their.
Yep.
They could do it. They could totally make it happen.
Yeah, it's just a matter, and then they can even craft a spell because Matt even gave that option in crafting a spell to get stuff done. So, but yeah, back at the thing.
Morgan, I agree. I was thinking the same thing too. The reason he wouldn't just accept it immediately right away is that his family was in fact kidnapped by goblins. It's not like he's going to be like, oh yes, it's fine right away. He's going to be like, gasp, scary, me no like.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be that. But if it's either that or not have your mom back, I'm sure he's already traumatized. And I imagine she would like to avoid more problems as much as possible. But if she did want to just give up and stay, she probably could. It's just not what she wants, and that's understandable too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so they open up the packages, and then they have a rest for the night. And we come back in the morning. They're going to head back off to Roshana. They leave Yeza behind. And it's really cool the way Caleb gets Luke involved in and Yeza involved in the drawing of the teleport circle to take them back to Roshana. I thought that was really cute.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all teleporting away, and then just as
they're leaving,
stepping through, just before he gets there, we get a little return from Ukatoa, just to remind him. Well, they're a lot closer now, so Ukatoa probably picked up on that and is like, "Oh boy, you know what? Where are you going, buddy?" Which I thought was fun. Return, and he trips into the circle, and they end up in Roshana.
Yeah, I like that especially after they had just been teasing him on the beach, especially after they had just been like, haha, imagine your evil, patron was, calling you back and stuff like that. Oh, wait, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Of course he did. You're back closer to where he is. You're within reach of him. Of course he's going to reach out and be like, hey, you've been a brat, get your ass back here.
Yeah.
And do I give you, where do you think your magic powers come from, bud?
Yeah, I can't imagine, like,
Turd.
Ukatoa has been trapped forever, and now the seals are. There's one left, and he's just like right there, and I bet he could feel that, and I bet that's even more torture than being imprisoned for as long as he's been imprisoned, is feeling that power right there at the tip, and then not being able to.
Especially because they've been off accidentally releasing other people. So like, here's this dude, here's Ukatoa, who has like all these
Oh,
followers,
he
and
really.
one of his followers like is so close to releasing him, and then just kind of like fucks off, and then goes off and whoops, releases someone else. Like, oh no, he didn't do it for you, but he did it for this other like laughing god
Oh
dude.
man, I'd never thought of it like that, but yeah, it's like, oh man, he's like cheating on all of the releases.
Ford is a
Like,
patron tease.
yeah.
It's so horrible. I'm
Oh
sorry.
man. Well, I mean, that's what the Mighty Nine are all about, just releasing evil into the world just accidentally.
Yeah.
So
But accidentally, let's be fair,
yeah,
accidentally, because they don't want to do it intentionally. They're at least good enough. They're not like intentionally evil people.
yeah.
They're just the kind of people that would accidentally release a bunch of
They're
evil into the world.
they're just bumblefucks, is what they are.
Yeah, you know? So
So
that's fine.
they get home and forget exactly how they were getting to the volcano, because Caduceus had ordered a horse and a cart and supplies and camping supplies and ready for a journey. And they're all like, and then Matt had to go like, remember Essex said that he could just take you? And they're like, oh right, yeah, well let's call Essex. And so I love what they do with Floaty Boy in
Mm-hmm.
that they're still like fascinated how he just glides along, and they figure they want to introduce him to Dairon. So they they throw ball bearings all over the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and open the door with Mage Hand when he arrives, and like all the ball bearings like move out of the way, which was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bo gets to be an asshole to Dairon as the help, and be like, "Why did you leave all these ball bearings over the floor? We told you to clean these up." Like, man, you guys are idiots. How's that look to Essek? Be like,
Yeah.
you guys, this is who the Bright Queen has entrusted stuff to. But let's talk about this teleport spell in the little time that we have left, because I don't know about you guys. Essek's like, oh yeah, I can take you, but I can't. And then they're like, oh, but we have us and this cart and the horses. And Essek's like, oh no, that's not how this works. I could take you, or I could take the cart.
Those
Which
are your options.
which
Which
do
do
you
you want?
want? Do you really want the cart going where you are, or do you want you to go where you are? And so they're like, okay, well, fine, take us. And they do a teleport spell, and they do the teleport spell through a series of maps and descriptions that they've kind of dredged up from, I think, the old Goblin Lady and whatever Essek could find, I imagine. And so the teleport spell is super fun because it has a table, and all the best spells in D&D have a table associated with them, like the Wild Magic table, or this spell, which bases your success rate on how familiar you are with the area you're going to. And it ranges from you're transporting to a permanent circle, which is basically you roll a 1 through 100 on a D100 and you get to where you're going because it's a permanent circle. And you have an associated object, also gets you there 100% of the time. And then you have very familiar, seen casually, viewed once, a description, or a false destination. And with false destination, you never will get to where you're intending to go because it's false information. So you'll get to a similar area. So they're going off a description. So already you have chances of them to getting to places are they have a mishap, you get to a similar area, you're off target or you're on target. And so with just based on a description, the chance of a mishap is a 1 through 43. Getting to a similar area is a 44 to a 53. Slightly off target is a 54 to 73, and then on target is a 74 to 100. And so the funness of off target and mishaps and similar areas are super awesome because mishaps, the magic you take 3d10 force damage, and the GM has to reroll to where you wind up. So you can actually literally have multiple mishaps. I mean, you could be bouncing around like a pinball in teleport space or whatever it is, which I just love because it would deal damage each time. And then you get spit out somewhere. So like similar area, you can wind up basically in a place that's thematically the same as the area you're intending to go. So they could have ended up on a volcano anywhere in Exandria. And Matt had even said this at the end. He goes, I prepared so many destinations of where you could end up because they could have ended up in so many places.
That's wonderful that he did that knowing that, like...
Well, even with just like the off distance, it takes like a d10 times a d10 percentage of the distance that you're trying to travel and takes that percentage of that distance and throws you in a random direction. Like that way, they could have ended off like the map of Jorhas to the east. Like some places, if you're doing it close to the ocean, you could wind up like
in the ocean.
Oh, and it says that in the spell, you could wind up in the middle of the ocean, which is bad.
I like that he prepared multiple volcanoes though. That he was like ready for that scenario.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been so good. Like, I don't
is
think
this even the right volcano? Is this the right one? And I also like that this happens even to someone we know is really strong and smart and powered, like Essek. Do you know what I mean? Like we know that he's like a prodigy.
Yeah.
And this shit still happens to him with this spell. Like this is just, well, do you want to teleport? Are you a druid? Are there trees nearby? No. Yeah. Well, then you gotta roll that dice.
We gotta take the chance express. There's a chance that we get bounced around a little bit and spit out somewhere. Like, I don't think there's any volcanoes on Tal'Dorei, but wouldn't it have been amazing if they ended up on Tal'Dorei?
It would have been really awesome if they had.
Or like in that southern part of Tal'Dorei, because that part of Tal'Dorei is really bad. That's a bad place down there. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they make it. They wind up on the foot of a volcano, snow-covered mountains, a melted lake, and they're at the kiln, basically, or the area around where the kiln is, which, you know, that's pretty handy. And I imagine Essek will just teleport circle back home, or teleport back home if he can. I don't know, 7th level, you probably only has one slot of 7th level. I don't know what level he is.
We don't know what level he is. That's not something that's not something that gets shared with us. That's behind the curtain.
He may have to hang out for a while. I don't know.
Just hang out for like a short or long rest and then like leave without them. Okay, I'm leaving now. Bye. Like the second he can.
Yeah. Be like, oh. Yeah, I don't think you get more than one slot. I mean, I played a wizard, but I can never remember the high spots. Just one.
He could have a teleportation
yeah, scroll. That's true. He could have a scroll.
That's very true, JC. Thank you.
He could have prepared a scroll. Yeah, because I imagine he's like, nope, see ya.
Since you said it, do you want me to read this question and all its lovely wording that we received about?
Oh, remind me what that question. I don't know. I go ahead. Oh wait, I think. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So we received a question. So don't forget that you can always send in your questions, and you can attach your name to it if you're really proud of it. If it's a wonderful, lovely creation like this one, which reads, "Hot boy rammed them hard with that spell. Think he'll hang around to recover or just shoot off again?"
Yes.
Which is what you were kind of just discussing.
That is true.
Yeah. Because if he doesn't have another spell, that he would need to have like a scroll, or like he would have to have it prepared to do. Or is he just gonna like sit down and like meditate for a bit, like just like relax, chill out,
enjoy the view?
Yeah, enjoy the view of this lovely,
have some tea with the Caduceus,
snow-capped volcanic mountain. Would it be snow-capped? They described that there was snow around and
Well,
that it was
okay, so
cold. They
here's the
said,
thing. Like,
go ahead.
it's probably a continental volcano, which means it wouldn't have active lava just running out of it because continental volcanoes are more silicic. They are felsic, which means they're high in feldspars and silicas, which makes the lava more viscous and thick, and it's more akin to what you'd get from a Mount St. Helens or a Mount Lassen or any of the volcanoes in the Cordillera, which is the mountains that run all the way up from South America along the west coast of North America. There wouldn't be just the active lava because this lava would be more thick and uh, it holds water vapor inside in solution of the melt, and then it's when it exposes itself to pressure that gas then expands because gas can keep itself in very small spaces when it's under compression, and it would be an explosion of stuff. But this isn't a podcast about geology, guys. This is a podcast about fantasy. So fantasy lava can do whatever the hell it wants.
So you're saying that Matt didn't call you up to ask you questions about geology for all these different...
No, as much as I've offered it to him when I've, tweet at him or anything, just, hey, you want some magic geology? I could probably come up with something. No. It's probably a magic volcano, which is fine. That's cool too. Magic lava is just as cool as regular lava, but,
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. The thing with that question is it made it sound like a negative thing, but they made it to where they were going. They only took like 20 points of damage.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
It could have been way worse.
They could have multiple mishaps.
He did. It was fine. Like, let's be real. It was fine. And if he wanted to pop off again immediately, that's his prerogative.
If he wants to pop off immediately afterwards, he can do it. If he has
if he can do it, good for him. If that's something he is capable of.
Bless wizards, sometimes they can pop off more than once.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, Jess. Is wizards can sometimes pops off more than once.
I know. But I guess, like, do they have an intended ride home otherwise? Like, were they intending to, like... I guess that's why they wanted to have the cart, right? In case they did have to do more of a journey, more traveling, more...
Yeah,
like, to be more prepared.
Yeah, or go somewhere else. I mean, because now, they can... Caleb can take them back, like, straight back, but I feel like if you're up there and they get a different sort of, like, clue, maybe there's more stuff. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. Yeah. Because they're really close to... They can hop back into the Empire really quick to where they are, too, because, like, the Sevelier Wood is just not that far west from them. Because they're up in that weird part where Xhorhas and the... whatchamacallit kind of mix. And we don't know what kind of stuff we're going to get from this kiln.
I was going to say, we don't know what's going to happen at the kiln. Like, upon arriving at the kiln, they could be like, we can help you with whatever you need, but we need you to go off on this mini quest first. So, like, they in all likelihood, they might not get to go right back anyway. Mm-hmm. So it does make sense for Essek to be like, hey, bye. Like, I guess send me a message if you need to.
Yeah. Also, like, I'm really hoping we find out more of this family from the backstory that Caduceus told.
The story about the
I think this is the dust. This is the dust.
This is the dust, because the dust was fire-based. It was talking about, like, you take this part, I think it was the skull, and burn it, and put the
everything
dust
else, everything else. Yeah.
You put the dust and the ash into all the bricks and what you build with and all of the stuff like that. And gosh, that's so interesting and exciting, and I can't wait to, like...
Yeah, or maybe even like
Caduceus story. We haven't had any Caduceus story.
Or a Caduceus family member is there, or something.
Please. Or like, even if they know some, or even if it's like, I feel like, you know what we might get? I feel like we might get a, like, yeah, they came by, but they left. They went back. Like, they headed back. Like, did they never arrive home?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Didn't they?
Yeah.
They left a year ago. They didn't they didn't get back yet? Like, that seems weird. Question mark. Like,
FMA just blew my mind in chat. Erica Ishias, Clarabelle Clay.
I love it.
That would be fun.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I just want more pastel clays in my life.
Yes.
But I think that's pretty much the episode. It was a nice short episode. So
we do have more questions.
Yeah, let's toss out the questions.
Did talk about this one a little bit too. How cool was the Magneto-esque repelling of the ball bearings as Essek glided by? We still haven't figured out exactly what's happening there.
Yeah, probably some tricky wizard magic. I love him though. I love how mysterious and like powerful he is.
Yeah. So rather than like a magnetic power, it's probably like a force power,
Hmm.
right? That's what we're assuming here.
What if
Is
he's
he
just always?
Magneto?
What if he's like gliding on a modified tensor's disc that moves on
That's
its
what I
own?
kept wondering. Is he actually just on a like invisible tensor's disc? I kept wondering that too. Is he
It's like
actually just on a floating disc?
underneath his robes, but
Yeah. He
like a
just has
mobile,
perfectly shaped
yeah,
robes
like a
to fit.
mobile, like a tensor's Segway, sort of.
Yeah. A tensor's segue. The magician's go-to spell. A precious arcane segue. I
Abernathy
like
would
it.
like that one.
Yeah, that'd be his baby. He's actually 3 deep gnomes in a trench coat. Thank you, Adam. Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
Perfect.
Um, and then so Dairon seemed to be assuming that the 9 had a bunch of contacts in Roshana, but other than Essek, the Bright Queen, Wako, Worshinmaru, who do they actually know in the city? Do you
That's
think it would have been worth them introducing Dairon to anyone else? Maybe Maru for the criminal contacts in safe house, and you had mentioned that one too.
yeah.
That like that
They maybe
Maru
had
would probably be
yeah.
useful.
I think Mario probably would, or at least given Dairon someplace to watch to maybe
Mm-hmm.
get clues that maybe that house was more than just like a little smuggling house, criminal activity sort of place, because
Mm-hmm.
Oban was like involved in it too. Like, yeah, I just feel like they could have given a little more information on the contact side because they did. But it could have been again the case of them forgetting what they actually know because that happens in D&D all the time in
Mm-hmm.
just regular games, and it happens with these guys all the time. You know.
Yeah, and it could have just been like they were trying to continue on, get her settled into there first. Let us do some stuff, come back to you, see where you're at, and then figure stuff out,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, I think you're right that would be a good starting point. I mean, technically, she's met Essek now.
Yeah.
Technically, she's been introduced to Essek. So she has that as like a trustworthy person. And I think kind of she's just presenting herself as like a low level drow, hasn't gotten to do any reincarnation yet. So just like
Still like shopping around for a client or
a
a
clan. Yeah,
clan.
like doesn't have a den yet. Sorry, a den.
Den, yeah, that's the word I was
Yeah,
looking
it doesn't
for.
have a den yet. Which gives opportunity to start like just chatting casually and asking questions and stuff like that. So you do have that little bit of an in, and then I think, like you said, Maru would be a good one because they didn't succeed at just patiently waiting outside and watching that criminal underbelly and sort of if there had been and I feel like Dairon is someone who could patiently wait and watch and learn and
Yeah.
pick up stuff. You know what
I
I mean?
feel that that's probably her bailiwick for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like so she could possibly get more out of it than they did without any detriment to them.
Yeah.
So I do think that would be a good possible one for them to give her
100%.
just easily and be like, well, there you go. Now we gave you a fancy person, we gave you Essek, and we gave you like a low level regular person.
Hmm.
So now you have connections and you get to live in our house. You're welcome as our pretend cleaning lady. We know you appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm sure
So,
they
like,
really appreciate that.
oh yeah, and we learned out that she was 200 years old, which is like,
Yeah, I love
dang,
elves.
lady.
I love elves. She's good at what she does. They are
Yeah.
good at what they do. Um, all right, I think that's all. You know what, Jess? I think we did a good job for not remembering that there was a podcast today.
Cheers.
Cheers! I have a little bit left.
Clink.
Clink.
We did it. For anyone watching this,
I feel
we
the
cheered
clink.
last.
I feel the
Yeah, it was
clink and the cheers.
self-sufficient,
That
but
was
it was called what you might call a callback
oh,
to the beginning gag.
that's an important
So,
part in comedy, the callback.
so we've done it. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Thank you everyone who is in chat, chatting with us and giving out all those great ideas. We appreciate it
We
so much.
appreciate you.
Heart your faces. Y'all are awesome. Thanks everyone who sent in questions. Make sure you check out our forum and do that. Follow us over on @CriticalReroll on Twitter. Go check out the YouTube, subscribe there, or even just if you're listening, send us, leave us some stars, give us a comment. That's good, and it helps other people find us. We do this because we like hanging out with you and chatting with you and like loving on this thing that we all love. So we word of mouth is how this travels. So send those words out your mouth to other folks.
Get those magic mouths out there. Just put them everywhere. Critical Reroll. Check it out. Sunday night, 6 p.m. PST or Pacific. Technically daylight time, so it's PDT. 9 p.m. Eastern. Check us out. Critical Reroll. I have been Dusty at GeoNerd on Twitter. You can find me there or here.
Yep, and I'm Jess at go_JG on the Twitter and the Twitches. Come follow me, hang out with me. Let's chat, let's play games, let's do stuff. You're awesome. Appreciate you.
Yeah. All right. Let's call this one done. Let's put this in the oven.
Let's stroll on out of this. Let's float on out of here across all these.
There we go.
Barracks.
Everyone
Bye.
on your tensor segways, and out we go.
Bye. Love you. Bye. Heart your faces.
The music is on. Matt's gonna have a fun time editing this one. Oh, I jumped the gun.